Hey folks, Champeska bringing another audio commentary. Today between Fov and Moon, and this is again for Shadow League. It's a best of three. This is game one on Turtle Rock, and I'm not sure how far behind live I am. I might, if we get to Heroes coming out and we're still catching up, I might slow it down because I think I'm sort of at least a couple minutes behind. But I'll try and catch up to live just to speed things up. And Fov obviously in the army now, so and I think he's still in the army. I'm not sure the quality of the Korean army. If you're allowed to play professional Warcraft, we're caught up live now. If you're allowed to play professional Warcraft in the army, but I guess you get a fair bit of spare time maybe. And then obviously Moon, Demon Hunter, and just standard creeping. You notice Moon actually didn't scout the close spawn. You can see with the Fog of War, he scouted immediately for the longer one. Now Fog trying to steal the creep here with Acolyte and sorry, I just noticed Fov went for Unholy Aura first, and I'm not sure if he's going to be going for Ghoul Rush or he just thinks he's going to get fast level 2, and actually tanking with this DK, it's a bit odd, but I guess once he gets his skeletons out he won't. And this Demon Hunter now finished creeping, and it looks like Fov's going to try and lose this Acolyte to the creeps, which I suspect he will be able to. Yeah, I think he did, and they're very nice by him. I think Moon's the definite favourite, despite obviously Undead being slightly better against Stealth than 50%, and Moon's just started his tier 2 tech, and Fov meanwhile has 4 ghouls and a skeleton, and looks like he's gonna get level 2 off these creeps maybe, yeah. And Moon not scouting this, doesn't have a wisp up around there. He does have a couple wisps around the map, one being chased around by a skeleton, but he hasn't got this creeping, and so Fov will get 2 off this camp. And he's picking up some more skeletons as well, and he might go and try and kill some wisps at this point, because he's in a good position. He's level 2, he should probably get rid of some of his mana just so it isn't all burnt away if he is going to go and attack, but it looks like this is what he's going to do, and this is a quite nice timing for the attack here, because Moon really needs his wisps. He can't afford to lose them when he's going to tier 2. He needs to start putting up a Hunter's Hall, and if this harassment lasts for a while, then he's not going to be able to put up that Hunter's Hall. And one wisp detonates, actually quite nice there by Moon. Only 3 archers and Demon Hunter's back now, but the Ancient of War is more central than you often see it, and so that's going to get some free hits on, and once the Demon Hunter's back, really the Death Knight has to get out of there. Only 65 mana, so Moon will probably get another mana burn. Yep, there it is there. And that wasn't the greatest of harasses for Fov, and this is a Hunter's Hall now going down there. And Moon just chasing down the school now, but I think this between the Unholy Aura and the nice sort of side block there by Fov, he's going to be able to get that ghoul away. Although Demon Hunter with boots, I think, yep, does have boots. So, but another ghoul goes for the block there, and obviously Fov's still pretty much in shape despite being retired. Moon gets one more hit. He's going to need 2 more hits. He gets one more. He needs one more hit. Will he get it? No upgraded tower. And Moon does get that final hit, does get the goal, and manages to get a mana burn on the Death Knight for full 50 mana. So very nice play there by Moon. Obviously Fov could be quite near tier 2 at this point, yeah. Sort of 3/5 away, whereas Moon's about the same, I imagine. Actually, no, very close to tier 2 now. Hunter's all a couple seconds too late, but not a huge deal. Meanwhile, Moon just hitting level 2 now, just item creeping, but unfortunately he gets a Ring of Protection. Obviously Ring of Protection terrible against Undead, because they just nuke you, and that's all sort of direct damage, where armor plays less of a role. And Graveyard now coming out for Fov as well, so we might, but no second Crypt, so I imagine we're going to see a Slaughterhouse build rather than Ghoul Garg. And actually I've been seeing a lot of Ghoul Garg games recently. There was a game with Mad Frog on what's it called? Tranquil Paths, I think. It's one of those Reign of Chaos maps. And in the course of the game, which wasn't a hugely long game, it was maybe half an hour, Mad Frog built 75 Gargs, and he had basically the entire game. He just had like if you were on the screen with this map, it would just be covered with ghouls, or sorry, covered with Gargs, and obviously not a common strat anymore, but it's sort of one that he's sort of famous for, and so one that he's just instinctively has the micro for. And meanwhile, some creeping here by Fov, getting Devotion Aura, not great, but not terrible. And Panda out as well, obviously transferring the Talisman of Evasion to him. Moon creeped this camp earlier, just when Fov attacked. I think I wasn't actually checking, but I assume that's what happened. And obviously Talisman of Evasion also not great against undead because you can't avoid coils with it. And first lore going up now, no second lore yet, and that's a bit surprising because he isn't taking to tier 3 or anything, so I'm not sure if he's maybe going to go for something different. First Dryad coming out though, obviously, and tier 3 for Fov and a Slaughterhouse, as I said. 5 goals getting lumber, and so I imagine he's just going to try and stockpile up on lumber. Naga second, probably go for Lich third, and then that's quite useful because just as soon as the Lich comes out, you're right in position to buy the orb, and you just can't buy the orb at this point, so buying a Naga third means that you have to run back to your base to pick up the orb for your Lich, so going Lich third does sort of make sense, and also Naga really effective at tier 2 because you can just chase down loads of weak units, especially bears before they get bear form, something like that. You can just get a coil and then get a lot of extra hits on just from slowing it a bit. And looks like Panda's gonna get 2 off this camp, I think. But oh no, Fov comes in for the creep jack now. Might actually steal the creep as well. Doesn't actually manage to. Moon gets the creep, and if he creeps those, he will get level 2 on his Panda. Gets mana stealing for his Panda as well. That's decent. I mean, obviously he has enough draining mana power with just his Demon Hunter, but still, it's not bad. And the first statue out for Fov, but he did have to TP away because he was in a very bad position. He didn't really have any units there, and he is going for Fiends and a Slaughterhouse, and that's pretty standard. I mean, you can especially against Dryads. It means that if you do see this, you generally want to get your bears a bit earlier than you would otherwise, and that is what Moon's doing. He's going to tier 3 now. Still only 1 lore. I'm a bit confused by this. It hasn't been built anywhere else, but it means that Moon has almost 600 gold. Oh, there's the second lore there. But it's very late, and Moon's just started getting his first bear training as well. And Fov, meanwhile, getting Ghoul Frenzy, so he might be going for just sort of a combination of all his units going for a very strong push. This is something you can do as soon as you hit tier 3, which he has now. He's going to get his Lich, maybe, or he will pick up an orb, and maybe he'll immediately go for attack before Moon has many bears, because Moon really not that big of an army now. He could even bring a Blight Skull and just really Sacrificial Skull, sorry, and really just sort of put on some intense damage and sort of try and hold his own rather than hitting and running. And Demon Hunter staff back, I imagine, just so that the Panda can get the entirety of this experience. And I did get Warsong Battle Drums, very nice for bears and stuff like that, because they obviously, unlike sort of Death Knight, they do sort of direct damage, not spell damage, and so that's all going to be affected and increased by the Warsong Battle Drums. And Demon Hunter now coming in and immediately staffing away the Panda. Moon's gone for 2 staffs, I think, and that's something he does a lot, and I think it's actually pretty wise to do that, because with obviously the staff nerf of 1.22, I think it was, or maybe it was 1.21, I can't remember now. Sorry, Moon's getting this, but it just having 2 staffs is so useful when you're going to have just 2 heroes basically tanking the damage for now. You really don't want to have one of your heroes die, and then that was the hero with the staff, so you can't get your other hero out, and it just all becomes a mess and can get really bad really quickly. And Fov with an Abomination now as well. That's very good against Dryads, especially if you get Disease Cloud, actually, because you can just sort of walk it amongst the animals, or amongst the Dryads, and just get all the kills. And Moon quickly engaging here, but getting a Drunken Haze off, but the Lich did pick up a mana potion, so there's going to be a lot of nuking power there. And I think it's not really a good fight for Moon to take, so Moon does have to move away. And it looks like he's going to try and get a couple hits off, but this Demon Hunter should be careful. He does have an invuln pot, but still you don't want to have to waste those types of things, especially when you don't have an expansion. And Moon does have a Wisp up here. He could put up an expansion. That could be quite nice. But Fov is tier 3, so he could get up a... If he's going for a Boneyard, he might well get a Shade. And oh, actually, he does have a Shade already, sorry. And so that would probably scout the expansion, so you always have to be careful with that sort of thing. If you can't hold your expansion, then definitely don't expand versus a Shade. And what's this? This is Ancient of Wind going up as well. Maybe This is something I've seen Moon do actually a bit recently, but the Ancient of Wind coming earlier, and he just does it so he can get a couple hippogriffs out to counter Oh, was that Tome of Experience? Sorry, I was just moving away. Sorry, it counters the potential for Destros or sort of worms or whatever, really. And also, if before they get those out, you can scout a bit with them as well, and it's very useful. And it's unlikely that Fov's could actually have web at this point. And Moon in a bit of a good position now. He does have his bear upgrade. 0/0 upgrades obviously on the bears, and I don't think Fov will have any upgrades either because he's mixing his unit combination a lot. First worm out for Fov, and this is a really good time for Fov to fight, I think, actually, because these bears are just going to be completely destroyed. Moon will probably staff it away. Yes, he does. And meanwhile, this panda needs to be careful because basically pandas have a giant nuke me sign on them, and he does take a lot of damage, but he does get staffed